One more year for Aaron Cresswell. Let's talk about it. Hello, West Ham Network. It's Holly. I hope you're well. You'll have to excuse my voice because I have indeed caught what can only be described as the lurgy, but there is no time to rest when there is West Ham news to be discussed because it is being reported that Aaron Cresswell has agreed a one-year extension to his contract, which was due to come to an end this summer. So it's all over social media, but this news was broken originally, I believe, by ex-West Ham United employee. And this extension follows on from the one-year extension that he signed back in 2023 with the option for a further year. However, it looked as though Cresswell was set to leave West Ham last August when Wolves came knocking. And who was the manager for them at that point? It was the one and only Julian Lopetegui. What are the chances? So at that time, Cresswell seemed very keen to make the move, and a deal for £2.5 million was incredibly close. Sounded as though it was as good as done, with Lopetegui basically being said to be a very big admirer of the left back. However, when he left Wolves, the deal collapsed and Cresswell therefore remained a hammer. People weren't overwhelmed with him staying, but again, we knew he was a decent backup. So it's thought that Cresswell's change of heart and wanting to stay at West Ham is due to the new manager, Lopetegui, that is set to be coming in at West Ham. But the question that I have for you today is that an actual good thing for us? So for me, Cresswell is a solid option for squad depth, but he's certainly not starting 11 material, in my opinion. And if we're looking to push on to the next level, that's even more important. It's likely that we get even less than 2.5 million from now. So while wages do add up, the money wouldn't make a humongous difference for us. And it would most likely cost more, I imagine, to bring in a second choice left back of the quality that we would need. And he does have a fair amount of experience. So there are pros and cons of keeping him, but I don't think this is where we should be heading as a club, because I want us to be ambitious, as we all do. He's been with the club 10 years in July, so he does know the club. And I suppose if he is a really cost-effective backup option, solid, like the big word there being backup, in my opinion, then it's not the end of the world. But the big issue is that he's 34 years old. And as fans, we just want to show intent, don't we? We want to keep improving our squad all round rather than investing in players that we know long-term aren't going to be at the club. And he's not going to be able to play at the top level for much longer, even as a sub. So this season, just taking a little look at his stats, Cresswell has played... excuse me, he has played 11 Premier League games, 6 Europa League and 1 FA Cup game, totaling 926 minutes or 51 minutes per game that he's featured in. Over the 10 years that he's been with us, almost 10 years, he has played in 349 matches, scoring 11 goals and assisting 37. And while he has done well quite a lot of the times that he's been called upon, there have been occasions more recently where he's shown why he's dropped out of our starting 11, I suppose. And it's sad because I do think a lot of Cresswell, but I think the time has come to part ways. However, it looks as though one more year is on the cards. The biggest thing for me, though, is that this suggests that we won't be signing a new left back this summer. So who does that actually leave us with? Taking a look at our current options at left back, we have Emerson, who's absolutely killing it. He's got stats, he's got records, it's all looking really good for him. So essentially, he's not going to be replaced. He's going to be first choice regardless. So that's great news. Problem is, if he gets injured, who we then have. So we will have Cresswell, who can slot in should he stay for this extra year. We can also back Ollie Scholes, who can play on the left if needed, which would give the youth a chance, which I know a lot of us have been keen to see. So Scholes has assisted. He's scored 1 goal and assisted 3 in 14 Premier League 2 games, playing everywhere on the left, as well as 1 game at centre mid and 2 at right mid. So he's nice and versatile. He can do things on the left. Is he ready for the Premier League? It's yet to be seen, but you've got to give him game time to find that out. Obviously, it does leave us a little short. Should Emerson get injured, it'll be one of those where you've obviously got the likes of Scholes. Johnson hasn't signed another contract, so I won't count him. And Cresswell, at that time, if there's an injury to Emerson, we'd be like, we messed up massively. But if Emerson's fit all of next season, then we're able to reinvest that money elsewhere where it's slightly more important. Perhaps that could be beneficial, because perhaps, the money could be spent more wisely on the likes of centre backs, a left back, a left winger, and a striker. That would probably be where I would say it's most urgent. But I do think that this left back position is one that does need some focus on, whether it's someone that we sign that's kind of like a cost effective option, but a backup, because currently taking a risk on a player that's old and a player that hasn't yet played at this level really, and is unproven, is a little bit risky, because we will get torn apart if we do not have a solid left back, and Emerson is not up to the job for the full season. So there we have it. Hopefully Emerson can stay fit. But yeah, the pressure is on this window to get things right. It really feels like we're at the start of a project now where we can't mess up and we need to make sure we do the right things. And it's down to Tim and that new manager to make sure that we make the right decisions. A lot of it obviously is in the hands of the gods, isn't it? You never know who's going to get injured. We could get multiple people injured in the same position, somewhere that we think we've got completely covered and don't need to focus on, like the right wing, like wherever, centre mid. But it's going to be an interesting window either way. But anyway, as always, drop us a comment and let us know your thoughts on Cresswell remaining at West Ham. If you've enjoyed this video, please do give it a thumbs up so that we know you've enjoyed it. And until next time, have a great day and come on, you Irons.